Someone who had previously worked at Goldman Sachs stated the other day that central banks are reserving the dollar for a period of time that is only sufficient to facilitate the introduction of a new system that brings together all of the money in the globe. The fact that this is about XRP and Ripple is quite evident. Bitcoin is marketed to the majority of people as a distraction, but it is actually about all of the important initiatives that are currently being developed in the area that can be used in the real world. Take note of this. The dollar has been the primary coin used for commercial transactions for a number of decades. What I would say about the method is that it is long in the tooth. The people who work in central banking are now working on something new, but it is not yet ready to be released. And at this very moment, when there is a great deal of transformation and volatility, the central bankers are working hard to maintain and accelerate the functioning of the dollar system. They are in the process of attempting to extend the lifespan of the dollar system, and they are also attempting to making a hasty transition to the new approach. As a result, I believe that the new plan will bring about the end of money. Due to this reason, we will not be adding a new coin. It is our intention to introduce a new method of conducting business that will be entirely digital. This will result in the demise of currencies in their current form. In their attempt to accomplish something, they are attempting to involve virtually all of the money in the globe. It is quite large. It is not an easy task. It is a complete disaster. For a considerable amount of time. Since quite some time ago, I have been discussing this topic. I have briefed you on the action taken by CBDC. It is going to be extremely different from this method that we are going to use. To clarify, when I suggest that we are about to witness one of the most significant restarts in the history of the world, I mean this. The situation is going to shift in relation to money. It is completely unrelated to Bitcoin in any way. Everyone who is so focused on Bitcoin is missing the big goal that they have set for themselves. However, Bitcoin has made it possible for these other initiatives to be implemented, despite the fact that many people do not want to use them because they do not believe in them. The widespread excitement surrounding Bitcoin is completely unwarranted. A further point to keep in mind is that this is related to. In September of the previous year, it was stated that Bitcoin is the most significant distraction from the most significant transformation that is coming to the financial services industry. Both the president and chief executive officer of Franklin Templeton is Jen Johnson. Take a look at it. It is Bitcoin that is diverting attention away from the most significant issue. The world of business is going to experience something like that. It is expected that artificial intelligence will be the other significant shift there. A great deal of discussion is also taking place over FTX and other topics. However, when you get down to the nitty-gritty, technology works in 3 different ways. You are able to pay, which is one of the reasons. For the second reason, it is possible to incorporate smart contracts within the coin itself, considering that it is a general record. Thirdly, where the truth can be found. This indicates that whoever possesses that token is entitled to all of the rights that are associated with it. When it comes to selling it to Frank, I do not need to go through a third-party process. In addition to this, Frank is the owner of everything. Rihanna is my favorite example because at the very last minute before the Super Bowl, she released 300 NFTs that were worth 0.00033% of the earnings from one of her most successful songs. It seems to me that she was just trying out these products on the market. Why is it okay for her to act in such a manner? When a Rihanna song is played on Spotify, the smart contract that runs when the song is played can be recorded and said, "I owe royalties here," that it is not necessary for anyone to take part in it. Due to the fact that Frank is a huge fan of Rihanna, it is possible for the tiny sum to be transferred to his account. These are items that he possesses. Don't you think he gets paid? At this very now, consider all of the ways in which you can earn money or receive royalties. As an alternative, you might make it more accessible to everyone and consider the fact that it is an asset that is not connected to any of the usual assets. As an additional illustration, I believe that athletes will sign a significant contract and then tell their supporters, "I am going to sell you tokens that are worth 10% of my annual revenue stream. I am going to sell you 100,000 tokens." And with that, the fans will most likely pay a significant amount for it. It is, in a sense, the same thing as securitization done. It is conceivable, and it is also making it possible for some very intriguing companies to pop up, which will revolutionize some of the way that we conduct business at the moment. That is the reason why I believe it to be significantly larger than Bitcoin. How come? Since Bitcoin is not a decentralized digital currency, it is unable to process transactions on a wide scale. There is nothing on a very massive scale, which indicates that tokenization or something of value is on the horizon. Consequently, Bitcoin is unable to manage stable currency, the transfer of money, or any of these other excellent applications in the financial sector. Ethereum is not capable of completing the task. This allows us to investigate what will actually be present. Where will the next great thing be that surpasses Bitcoin? What is going to be more notable than Ethereum? Furthermore, there will be more than simply XRP. In addition to that, there will be HBAR, QNT, XLM, XDC, and the like. Regarding Casper, there are a great number of projects that are capable of handling scale and have applications in the real world. In order to give it some type of application, Maxis has been pushing this potential store of value story. However, they are not only that scenario. This is what I have been saying over here, and I have also demonstrated this information in the video. The majority of the space is being utilized by the largest stereo players in the world. The greatest sources of distraction in this area are companies and organizations that either make use of Ethereum or attempt to convince individuals to purchase Bitcoin. It will no longer be useful for use cases that require scalability once it is implemented. In the future, new rails that perform significantly better will be utilized. No one is paying attention to what BlackRock has to say, despite the fact that everyone is watching them. The instructions were given to you. Larry Fink relayed the strategy to you in his conversation. Creating tokens of value. Ethereum and Bitcoin, not to mention the latter, will not contribute to the expansion of the tokenized market. The reason I mention this is because, as you are aware, this does not scale, which is something that Smokey Dog did acknowledge. Alright people, it's official with proof. Due to the fact that they are too volatile and cannot be scaled up, Bitcoin and Ethereum are not suitable for use as payment methods for the majority of distributed ledger technology applications. According to Mr. Berlus, who is located over here, Ripple developed its system with the intention of making it accessible to huge financial institutions such as Santander and Bank of America. To be able to manage a large number of actions in a single second, it is necessary. Even in this location, it is able to expand to any scale and collaborates with more than 100 banks. Through the acceleration of exchange procedures and the facilitation of the trading of assets that are not very liquid, it is intended to improve upon the existing financial methods of payment. This is in addition to the fact that the values of Bitcoin and Ethereum are altered. This article, which was published in August 2024 by the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, takes a peek below the cryptocurrency at crypto whales and the secret influence of crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum markets are particularly susceptible to market manipulation, which has a significant impact on these markets. In light of this, the distinction between large, knowledgeable investors, also known as whales, and smaller, less experienced investors, also known as retail investors, becomes abundantly evident. Big holders of Ethereum have a tendency to increase their holdings before the price of the cryptocurrency goes up, which implies that they receive favorable returns on their investments. In contrast, smaller investors frequently sell their holdings too soon, resulting in the loss of gains or the beginning of losses. The instability that has been present in ETH has also returned. As opposed to the whales, is mostly influenced by the actions of smaller consumers. The majority of the factors that influence the price of Ethereum are retail speculation and excitement, and large users of Ethereum always emerge victorious from these movements. Studies have shown that market manipulators exploited the stablecoin Tether to pump up the price of Bitcoin during the cryptocurrency boom that occurred in 2017, resulting in the cryptocurrency being worth almost $20,000 at the time. This did not